My sister announced my pregnancy at my wedding reception, so I announced her divorce at her baby shower. She waited until the exact moment my husband and I were cutting the cake to grab the DJ's microphone and scream, "Everyone, the bride is having a baby." The entire reception fell silent before erupting into confused whispers. I was only 6 weeks pregnant and hadn't even told my own parents yet. My sister Maya knew this because I'd sworn her to secrecy just 3 days earlier, when she caught me throwing up in the bridal suite bathroom. The timing couldn't have been worse. My husband's ultra-religious grandmother had already been giving us disapproving looks all evening, clearly doing the math on our 6-month engagement. Now she was clutching her pearls and whispering furiously to anyone who would listen. My new mother-in-law's face went completely white as relatives started approaching us with awkward congratulations mixed with obvious judgment. Maya stood there basking in the attention, going on about how she just couldn't contain her excitement about becoming an aunt. She kept saying how this made the wedding even more magical, and how she was adding a blessing to the celebration. When I pulled her aside and told her she'd completely ruined our announcement plans, she laughed and said I was being ungrateful. "I made your boring wedding actually interesting," she said with a smirk. This wasn't Maya's first time stealing someone's thunder. She'd announced her engagement at our grandmother's funeral reception 2 years ago, claiming she needed something positive to share during such a sad time. She'd also revealed our cousin's adoption plans at Christmas dinner before they were ready to tell the family. Maya had a pattern of hijacking other people's moments and somehow making herself the victim when confronted. The worst part was losing the baby 2 weeks into our honeymoon. What should have been a private grief became a public spectacle, as I had to explain to dozens of relatives who'd been congratulating us on social media. Maya's response when I told her, "Well, at least everyone got to celebrate while they could." She never even apologized. 6 months later, I started noticing cracks in Maya's perfect marriage. Her husband Derek had stopped coming to family events, and she always had elaborate excuses about his work schedule. She'd post these over-the-top happy couple photos on Instagram, but I noticed Derek never liked or commented on any of them anymore. My friend Jessica, who works at Derek's law firm, mentioned seeing him apartment hunting downtown and having lunch dates with his paralegal. When Maya announced her pregnancy at our monthly family dinner, she made this huge production with custom announcement cards and a professional photo shoot. She scheduled her baby shower for 8 weeks later and invited everyone we knew. She kept making little digs about how she was doing pregnancy announcements the right way, and how some people just don't know how to share joy properly. The day of her shower, I played the perfect supportive sister. I arrived early with an expensive gift, helped set up decorations, and smiled through all her passive-aggressive comments about my sensitivity issues. Maya gave this long speech about new chapters and fresh starts, clearly loving every second of being the center of attention. That's when I stood up with my champagne glass. I'd like to make a toast to Maya and all her fresh starts. Speaking of new chapters, let's also celebrate Derek finally moving out last month. Since you believe in sharing everyone's important news without permission, I thought everyone should know he's been living with his paralegal for 3 weeks now. The divorce papers were filed yesterday. The room went dead silent. Maya's face turned bright red, then completely pale. Her mouth opened and closed like a fish as her friends stared in shock. She finally screamed that I was a monster who destroyed her special day. Maya blocked me on everything, but at least she learned that stealing someone's moment always comes back around.